Jared, thank you so much. Yeah, you get your own. God, it's been a fucking long day. Glad to be here and doing this.
Same, my friend.
What got you into pickleball?
Just being so goddamn alone.
From all your Instagram stories, it seems like you burn a lot of calories when you play this game.
I burn 800 to 1,000 calories an hour.
I don't believe that. That's impossible.
All right, well, you can check my watch.
But what first got you? Well, when did pickleball first evolve into something of a sport?
Pickleball has been around since the late 60s. It was created. Should I give you the whole backstory of pickleball?
I mean, why not? We have an hour to kill.
An hour? I told my agent 10 minutes.
Keep going. I want to make sure we're recording.
Okay, so legitimately, pickleball started in the late 60s when this very white privileged family was on this. Sorry. When this beautiful family, angelic babies, they're all on a family vacation in Washington State. The kids were bored. The adults were annoyed that the kids were being annoying. And so they made up a game. So I think it was 1968, but don't check me on that. So they put the badminton net on the ground. They had 2 ping pong paddles and a wiffle ball. They started making rules. They made the kitchen, and it became like a table tennis that you stand on, you know. You like stand on the table. So it's some cross between badminton, ping pong, and tennis, and it's taken over since the pandemic. So it's like been around since the 60s, but only people started giving a shit about it 2020.
I love the game of golf, but I've never ever decided to look up the history of it. I can't believe that you're that knowledgeable about it. That's impressive.
Well, I had to write a movie about it too.
Okay,
so I didn't have to.
You did your homework. Oh yeah. So then you got into it during the pandemic, like everyone else.
My parents played it. And,
okay.
I played with them a couple times. Like, you guys, like I picked up a paddle and thought I was Michael Jordan, but I was also playing 70-year-olds. But either way, I felt great after leaving that place, and everybody's like, the vibe was cool. And senior citizens are, all retired and just having a good time.
Yeah.
And they weren't cranky and, being annoying. They were just having fun, trying to win a point. So I finished Dance Dads that you DP'd.
It was the most miserable time of my life, but we're not going to
miserable?
No, I'm kidding. It was an experience. It was a good experience, but man, was I exhausted. And more like, I'm not trying to stroke you any more than I've already stroked you, but the fact that you were like waking up super early, staying awake super late to finish out, the scheduling and kind of rewriting the script a little bit throughout the process. Yeah, I will come back to that later. But I want to say on Pickled Heads, you love the game so much that you decided to write a movie about it.
Well,
right?
While I was segueing off Dance Dads is because I gained 30 pounds for Dance Dads because I thought it was funny.
You gained 30 pounds. I thought you were in pretty good movie shape for Dance Dads.
Well,
there was a few scenes with your shirt off.
Well, I was wearing red, so it makes me, actually adds 20 pounds rather than 10. Okay. But I did gain 30 pounds somehow.
It was mass. You accumulated mass.
I was on the bulking stage and I just never hit the cut. And then I couldn't lose the weight because, I'm in my mid 30s and it's not as easy anymore. So
it sucks.
Started playing pickleball with Joe and Grant, our friends.
Yeah.
And I got religious about it and played all the time.
Yeah.
So I burned 800 to 1,000 calories an hour and lost 30 pounds in 2 months of just not drinking as many of those and just playing pickleball because it makes you cramp, Ramon.
I've heard that. That's really impressive that you lost so much weight. What is what's the entry fee for someone who wants to play pickleball? Because you got to also factor in court reservations and all that shit.
I mean, there's public places to play for free still. Like I learned playing at SARC, South Austin Recreation Center. So I would just go show up. I was actually given a paddle by some just extremely nice missionary woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you sure? And she gave me a Recess paddle, which is a local company as well. Recess Pickleball paddles.
Not sponsored by
Pints. Not sponsored, unless they
Pints
were down to throw some
always
cash.
look for sponsorships.
So, and then I just started playing with that, and I didn't have any equipment. I just went and played. So it's like the entry level is free.
Yeah.
If you can make a couple friends.
Sure.
But if you're a loser, you can probably just
don't have any friends.
Buy the most expensive paddle.
And here I am coming from a gym in downtown Austin that charges a pretty exorbitant amount. And the fact that, and it looks fun. I never really wanted to play pickleball because I've heard so many people just injure themselves. I think it's mostly the olds who are just like blowing out their Achilles and ACLs.
Remember when like a lot of people were dying from COVID, but realized they were already dying? It's like these people are going to get injured if they walk down steps, but they played pickleball.
Right.
Not to bring up.
I mean, we can get political if you want. That's fine. Oh,
just kidding. But seriously, like the stat is large because, you know, my dad plays all the time, but he doesn't stretch after. I'm like, dude, there is no way
it's
you're
with
not
anything,
pull
right?
Something
or
hurt yourself.
Yeah.
I'd like you to continue to play. You should. He's like, I'm like, all right, cool.
How old's your dad?
Take a nap on the couch. 72.
Oh, it's a young buck. My dad's 83. Yeah, and they're still walking. They're still good. So
wow.
I mean, yeah, they're still healthy and still got their mental health about them or their awareness. They're good, man. So,
that's great.
Yeah, 72 is young.
72. I mean, and also I'll give credit to my parents because we're like Irish German Catholic alcoholics. But my parents weren't.
Yeah.
My dad's 1 of 8. My mom's 1 of 7. They don't really drink. My mom has like 1 or 2 glasses of wine now.
Oh man.
My dad will drink an amaretto ginger ale if he's feeling frisky.
Ooh, fancy.
You know?
Okay,
like
so you wanted to lose weight. Well, you played the game, lost a bunch of weight, and then when did the idea come about? Like, hey, we should do something about this and make it, make an art film.
It was such a grassroots stage of a sport, and then the more I learned about it, there's Major League Pickleball, there's Professional Pickleball Association, PPA, MLP, and APP, which is something pickleball, something.
Association Pickleball.
Association of Pickleball. I don't know what the second P is, but either way, you can look it up. But there's 3 different leagues, and Major League Pickleball is coming up on the rise. And I was like, the biggest charm about mockumentaries is, it's like Best in Show or Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah,
it's these like a small community's like Super Bowl to them. Or The Office. It's about an office. But it's so fun because these people take it so seriously. And Michael is just a crazy, delusional buffoon.
Yeah.
To take you along that journey on something that we would not care about. These are not jobs that you want or I want. These are jobs that we like seeing people do as characters. And it's wild. A lot of those people weren't even actors.
Yeah.
They're producers, writers, and other things are like, let's just throw Phyllis into this. Seriously.
And it works, and it's the people love it. And that's kind of the point of this show is like, I work with so many different industries, different people, different characters. I find them so fascinating and I want to, bring them to light, like individuals like yourself. It's just, I feel like Hollywood sucks right now. Mm-hmm. They're just reproducing the same crap that we've already seen. They're tugging on our nostalgia heartstrings
and breaking our hearts by pumping out absolute garbage.
Garbage, yeah. I will say I do kind of want to see the new Gladiator. Me and my wife were coming home from Seattle, and we saw like an advertisement for it. I'm like, God, why can't Hollywood just come up with something new? Like, it's gonna be dog shit, but I still kind of want to go see it just because.
And I can't wait for you to eat that dog shit. at the movie theater because
I will pay that money.
I've heard really bad things.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
But Denzel's in it, man.
I know, but Denzel didn't direct and produce it. He took probably $20 million to work for 10 days.
Okay. Well,
I can't. Denzel's awesome.
I'll go see for myself. But anyways,
I'd like to know your feedback.
I mean, yeah, because I'm such a movie connoisseur. But I think it'll be entertaining. Hopefully, but we'll see. Back to Pickleheads. I forgot where we left off.
Pickleheads.
This is gonna be tough. We're going on so many different tangents. I have so many questions. But Pickleheads.
You were asking me why I.
Yeah. You touched on those great mockumentaries and.
So we were shooting a serious Western Cottonmouth at the time, which will be out next year.
Okay.
Kind of early with Ron Perlman and Esai Morales.
No big deal.
And a bunch of 1883 actors. And I met a lot of good people on that, which actually came and helped with Pickleheads. But Brock was, his wife was about to have a baby.
A second one.
And now he's about to have a second one. But this was last year.
Yeah, got it.
When I had already written Pickleheads, because it was like I was gonna write it, direct it, and produce it. And as soon as I was going to go into production or even start casting, people read the script and were like, "No, let me." It was like hot fire.
Yeah.
And I had shared the script and gone after big actors, and it was going to be like a $15 million movie at one time, and then a $6 million movie.
Jared,
and
I
then
didn't know you're that rich.
I'm not. It ended up being an ultra low budget, under $300K.
Awesome. That's still pretty good. I mean, from my standards in my industry as a videographer, I hear $300K. I'm like, I don't even know what to do with that money. Like, I'm just going to buy like 30 red cameras and be done with it. But no, that's impressive, man. Good
it's and I never thought I would be able to, I don't know, just ask people for money. But when you believe about a story and people have already made movies, they're like, I want to do this. And I'm like, well, this is what I'm thinking it's going to cost. I'd like to keep it as low budget as possible so we can profit off of it.
Right.
Because you spend millions and millions, you don't get the distribution you want.
Yeah.
You're competing against a big budget film, and those films aren't good right now.
How do you go about asking for money? Because your work ethic, that's not the type of individual who you are. You don't go, it's not begging, but how do you frame it in a sense like, hey, I'm really passionate about this project. Will you help me do this by giving me all your hard-earned money and savings and Roth IRA?
Or maybe it's easily earned. I don't know. These people have worked hard, but I think it's just being obsessed with your story.
Yeah. And
being, for me, it's just being indifferent with them. I'm like, I'm going to do this movie, and I love the idea. Pickleheads is about this, ping pong was at its like international height in 2016 in the story. And he's playing his arch rival from Australia, and he ends up sharding on international television, and his mom dies in the crowd. So after this, he feels like he's lacked the ability to trust, and Barney Bardot, the main character, he goes into the woods and lives like a Sasquatch/Bigfoot of Bee Cave here in Texas. He lives along the green belt. So, because if somebody sharts in the woods, does someone else's mom die about it? I don't know. Maybe he did shart, but that wasn't filmed. But in his 10 years later, his brother brings him out of the woods to play pickleball to save the mom's house.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to invest in that type of story?
Like, no, hear me out. It's not just a shart. It's a fart with heart that becomes a shart. But there is pickleball in it too. That's just the inciting incident.
Yeah.
That, for some reason I have a great ability of writing this delusional broken man that needs a purpose and then needs to.
I think you're 2 for 2 on that right now.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Western yet, but
It's
I'm
a
excited
formula.
to watch it. But no, I think what also helps people, help you out is that you are authentic. You're authentically funny. And I think that goes a long ways. And when you see someone who's passionate about a project, I think that kind of makes it easy to ask for help along the way. And asking for money, that's part of the movie making experience, right?
It unfortunately is.
Movie making process, yeah.
Yeah, it was so scary in the beginning because I was like, this is so much money to me.
Yeah.
So it's just wild to ask, but like, and just doing it. This is my 4th movie now, which is crazy to say.
That's wild.
Yeah. And it looks incredible.
Is it getting easier to do this movie making process?
Yes.
I would imagine so. The more you do anything, easier it becomes.
Like although it wasn't a big budget, it was 10 times the budget of Dance Dads. So like it just was. We had 35 people minimum on crew working on the movie every day, and we had an amazing cast. Like, so we have Christine Froseth from Buccaneers,
She's a POC?
Pej Vadat from The Old Man. Huh?
Was she a POC? Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh, no.
Buccaneers,
no.
get it?
I thought you meant person of color.
Well, that too,
So we have
POC's funnier.
Harvey Guillen from What We Do in the Shadows.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. He plays my favorite character that I've ever written, Gale Plankton. He's incredible. And then we have me playing Barney Bardot. We have Ryan Cooper playing, who's the Australian rival in the beginning. He's Angus Khan. And then we have Eric Nelson from 1883, who's also in Cottonmouth, came out and killed it in this comedy. He only does Westerns, or serious movies. He's an excellent actor. And then Lindsay Morgan from the 100 played Faith, who is the Karen of this movie. I'm still in love with her and haven't let go, and held on to this relationship even though I was in the woods
Karens
for 10 years.
Just tug on your heartstrings and they don't let go, huh?
I wrote that character Karen before Karen was a thing, right? So.
Did you really?
Yeah. But yeah, we got this great cast because a lot of these people are on serious TV shows or such crazy schedules that even an ultra low budget SAG film like this they were so excited to do such a free kind of improvisational movie. So all my scripts, there are 100 pages at first, and then I cut it down to high 60s.
Is that standard for a hour and a half long film, or
usually comedies run fast, so it's
okay.
It's 93 to 105 pages is a sweet spot because people's attention span. And but I cut the script down to 68, 69 pages because the skeleton of the script, to make it shootable, there's these big moments, but all the improv and character work will come to life after we get what's on paper.
Right.
It's out of control. Harvey and I had this scene, which is 4 lines in front of a wall in the attic. So he's the banker that comes to the house and wants to take the house, and I lock him up in the attic and hold him captive. And I won't let him go, and then we actually end up helping each other and becoming friends. But either way, 4 lines in front of a wall. We were up there for 20 minutes just riffing, staying on our spots and just going. And it was just man, this is so easy. Just listening and reacting, but it keeps everybody kind of listening on set. The crew was incredible. The morale was so high, and I just, can't wait to share it.
Do you think that because you got the actors that you did, is it going back to that, my belief that Hollywood is stagnant? It's not producing anything new, and these individuals want something new to be a part of.
I think there's a huge void in the industry, which I'm almost so glad. No one's doing comedy well right now. People call the show Bear is in the comedy.
Bear, Yes Chef?
Yeah.
That's not a comedy. Jesus Christ.
I agree.
Did the Christmas scene in the last season? My God, that made me want to go see my own therapist.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's great. I don't.
It's like a suspense drama. It's not a comedy.
I mean, a comedy's never made me cry. That series has made me cry multiple times.
Yeah. Ugh, the brother character. He's like nails on a chalkboard. It's just like if you ever worked in the restaurant industry, it's like, get me out of this room with this person.
Right.
It's toxic. But yeah, they're not doing comedy well. It's like safe comedy and put over, like, I don't know, exposing actors in roles they're not actually good in.
Yeah.
So I think there's a void right now, and I hope to fill that void with actual funny comedy. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care who I want to know what you think is funny. It's like, I don't care where you're from or what culture you're at or what you even believe in. I want to know if you're funny or not.
If it makes you laugh, that's the telltale sign that it's funny, right?
It's universal.
Yeah. I mean, you can't stifle a laugh if, I see you walking around with your shirt off or waking up early morning in your tidy whities. I couldn't help but laugh. That's just funny to me.
It's a lot of physical humor.
Some might find it grotesque. I found it funny.
Yeah. Like there's zero politics in this movie. I think as inclusive and ageless as pickleball, like every age can play pickleball. I want people to be able to watch this movie.
What is it going to be rated? Can you talk about that?
His PG-13, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, you got to. Like you said, you got to make it accessible for everybody.
I wanted to even make it PG, if I could.
Well, that's not funny.
I know, but I just don't think you need.
Well, I will say a lot of Robin Williams' movies were some PG, Jumanji,
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire, and they're still hilarious. I still watch them today.
People turn off on language, so I don't want to let that.
Yeah.
And even like, you can't say more than 3 F-bombs.
That's kind of like low-hanging fruit too. Like if you can make people laugh without, vulgarity, then I think you got something there.
Yeah.
And that was the brilliance of Robin Williams. May he rest in peace.
He was like my dad that talked.
So, kind of playing devil's advocate from an outside perspective, I've never played pickleball. There was this heightened trend, I guess, on social media is how I became involved with the sport and seeing people play and seeing you play it. Do you think you missed the boat on like the popularity of pickleball, or do you think you're right on time, or you might be late, but who cares?
I think it's only getting bigger. I think there's certain pockets and age groups that it was a trend, but I see videos of kids playing and like competitively. Yeah. Like I think it's going to be an Olympic sport by the next Olympics. I think. I mean, breakdancing. Come on, Australia ruined that for everybody.
Or did they heighten it? I don't know. Time will tell. But yeah.
But I think it's only growing. I just think there's more facilities to host these people. So in the middle of the movie, Pickleheads, there's a rumble because there's not enough concrete slabs in Austin. And so there's tennis courts with pickleball lines drawn all over them. This is in every major city, every place in the U.S. They're taking over courts, and tennis players hate it. This is real.
I've heard that conversation.
Vandalisms.
Yeah, with someone in my networking group. They're like, "Oh my god, I hate those pickleballers. They come in and they take our courts. I just want to play tennis." I'm like, "It's pickleball, man. Come on."
I've read all the articles, and it's like helped me write the movie so easily. These are just real stories that I kind of put in. Like, there's a hunger strike person that against pickleball noise. There's people protesting about the lower decibels in their communities, like condos. Like, it's a real thing that people either want to complain about. So it's like you have two choices with pickleball. You can either love it or love to hate it. But either way, there's a lot of love going around.
Yeah, one of my buddies blew out his Achilles, and he's like 35 playing that sport, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I assumed only old people were getting injured and required surgery after this pickleball injury but no, it's you. And I think you told me it's the shoes. Yeah, maybe it's the shoes.
Sure, he's wearing running shoes. Yeah.
And that's like I think that's why I asked you the barrier of entry, because like I don't want to buy specialized shoes. I just want to play in my Vans. Like I want to be a little kid again and just be able to show up and hit the ball around.
Well,
but as a serious player
your wife's
like
a
you,
nurse, because you'll be putting that foot up in no time. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so what was the funnest part about making this movie? Because I mean, there are some times where you're like, oh my god, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm tired. This sucks. There's brief moments in that, but what was your favorite part of making this movie? If you have one, you don't have to. You can pick three. I'll let you have three.
There's tons of things like, I don't know. It's just like being on set with everybody working so hard towards the story.
Yeah.
Like telling the story and really wanting to make people laugh. And, it's like I took this, everybody took their roles so seriously. So the silliness will just be lifted. Like these, idiots are so serious about this that it's so, it just reads really well. It's good. Like, I don't know if there's one moment. I think it's just like being so darn exhausted at the end of the night. And I'm on my computer making payments and watching through footage on Frame.io. And I probably slept an average of 3.5 hours a night. And
how long was this production?
It was 12-day shoot.
Straight.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Because Dance Dads was
9 days straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
That was taxing on me.
myself.
And then I kept hearing you guys staying up late at night and then getting a text like at 1 a.m. Okay, call time's at whatever, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, these guys are not sleeping at all.
No.
They're going to be delirious. But I think that kind of prepped Brock for being a dad, right?
You got to dance where you're into some things, and his was fatherhood. Yeah. He played the part on screen, now in life forever. So, what was the question?
Yeah, what was the fun part?
Yeah.
You said everyone was just so into the story and wanting to make a good movie.
I think just all around, like an absolute adrenaline high when something you wrote is coming to life, and you're exceeding the whole team's exceeding your expectations of the story and the project and the way it looks. Like it looks incredible. Like we shot with 2 Sony Buranos and 8.6K. So that's so much data. It's 37 terabytes. But like what we can do with the color, like I'll show you some clips after this. Like it looks beautiful, and it makes it funnier somehow. like usually, like you think mockumentary, like raw, like
as it
footage,
should. It's raw.
like,
it's rugged. It's jittery.
People
It's
moving around.
It's shitty in a good way.
Yeah.
It fits the story, but yeah, I'm excited to see how you put such a beautiful image to comedy.
It's rare, but I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't, which is cool.
But so back up on me. What was the total amount of terabytes that you filmed?
37.
37 terabytes.
Mm-hmm.
What was the budget on hard drives?
What was it?
What was it? Like how many hard drives did you have?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
And then you have to piece that into. My mind is just going.
So we did the math
editing.
before. Taylor Camero, he's a DP, and he thought it was going to be 9 terabytes.
Oh.
He's like, I didn't factor in proxies, and I was like, very cool.
Yeah, that takes up a huge portion of.
And when you do an improv and like also 2 cameras on interviews, the dead space and also shooting 60 frames for the ping pong scene, like in the beginning. Like, it's so much data.
That is the one thing when I'm interviewing people and they're running long, I'm just thinking about, oh my God, this is going to take up so much storage space on my hard drive. And being a small business owner, like, I have to buy all the hard drives. Granted, it is factored into the cost of what they're paying me to do the job, but still I'm like, Jesus, I'm going to have to buy another $150 hard drive. I'm working off, 1 terabyte hard drives, and it's just like, okay, workflow is kind of messed up right now, but
Yeah.
I can't fathom 37 terabytes of footage. That blows my mind. Like, my little MacBook Pro would just die.
I think it's around $3,200 that it costs for hard drives, which isn't that much, but it's a lot.
It's like no, I'm not going to tell how much my prices are, but man, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's impressive. And that I'm really interested to see it now. Not that I'm not interested to see any other movie that you make, but that'll be fun to watch, I'm sure.
Yeah, you got a good comedy brain. I think you'll like the improv takes with Harvey and I. It's like when you know something is working and you're just playing the truth like that hard. It's just like, oh, you're doing that. It's just passing the ball between your characters truthfully, and it's so like after Josh yelled cut. Josh Flanagan, director.
Yeah.
Hold
your mic closer.
Like, whoa. That was good. I was just like, circle that take.
When you were writing this movie, did you have specific characters or like a genre of character that you wanted to fit that role? Like when you're writing for, I haven't even seen the movie, but when you're writing out a movie, do you have a specific Hollywood actor in mind that is going to fit that role? Not necessarily like Javier Bardem, but like someone adjacent to that. If that makes sense.
Yes. Yes is the answer.
And then how do you search and find for that specific guy that is just going to be, yes, I want him? Is it just intuition? Is it just research? Is it luck? Is it everything that I just said?
It's research, but you're often influenced on films that you watch and you write what you like. So typically, like if I'm doing this kind of genre, I'm going to like look at the best mockumentaries and most successful things right now. And we'll be doing The Shadows in the 6th season of a live action comedy. And I wrote Gale thinking of Harvey Guillen playing it.
Okay.
So him playing that, I was like, whoa, this is ideal,
And it worked out.
Yeah.
Does that happen? Like, does that happen often? Like, you write for a character and you get the guy that you want?
I would say 99% it doesn't happen.
Wow. Okay.
It's never happened. Ron Perlman was a big win for Cottonmouth, I remember.
Yeah.
Because, we were talking
He
about...
did Hellboy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in Sons of Anarchy, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He just had the voice that I wanted for the vindictive, like, prison owner.
Yeah.
So I was like, they were talking to like, I won't say the names, but big actors.
Sure.
So it just, I was like, okay, that's cool. But I literally wrote and thought of Harvey Guillen playing Gale. It's like I usually start with like friends that I know that can play it well. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, how do we package this movie with as many people, as many names as we need to sell this thing and people to take it seriously? And mockumentary is a sweet spot of like, you want people noticeable. I'm like, what is that person from? But you don't want to like, have Jeff Goldblum like on set, like,
sure,
that
yeah.
It's like more distracting than it is. Like he could play a cameo in this because, it's a lot of talking head interview situation. But
do you think that kind of like diminishes the value of a movie when you have you waste all your budget on a big name actor just to bring him in just so that maybe it'll attract more audience. Do you think it devalues the movie in a way?
I think a lot of movies fail because they try to incorporate the actor strengths rather than the story and character strengths. So a lot of times, yes, there were certain times where we're talking to bigger actors to play certain roles that I don't think fit. Like especially if they've never even picked up a racket. Like I just want it to look kind of cool.
Yeah.
It is a pickleball mockumentary. It's not a sports drama,
Right.
which helps. But Eric and I actually play. Like Eric has a court in his backyard who plays like the rival.
And that's one of the things that so I'm in this networking group. You've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm talking about is just storytelling for businesses. And yeah, you can have Matthew McConaughey in your commercials talking about whiskey, but he's not the one who's distilling it. He's not the one who's going to he's not talking about the value of the whiskey and how long it's been distilled. And he's just there to get eyeballs on the whiskey. Mm-hmm. And if that whiskey is going to have longevity, it needs to be good. So when I'm talking to when I'm talking to my clients, I go, it's about story. It needs to be authentic. You need to have a good product first. And then that way you can just get the word of mouth going on whatever you're trying to sell. And then it kind of just sells itself. Mm. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in movies now is like Gladiator 2, for example. I'm going to go see that movie because it's nostalgic, because I want to see it. But is it going to be good? From what I'm hearing from your professional opinion is that no, it's not.
I also have not seen it. But
so
good sources.
You're just believing the critics.
Well, even the trailer, I was like, Usually I can tell by the trailer. I'm like, it's not going to be good.
And that's the next kind of concept I want to bring up is like, if I were to critique Dance Dads, I would say, given the parameters of everything that went on that movie, it's a great movie. It's a great fucking movie. Mm-hmm. Given the budget, given the work ethic, given the long nights that you and Brock put in, it's a good movie. And when I hear like critics talking about movies, I'm like, I don't dive into their background, but I want to know like, okay, what's their background? Are they from the movie industry, or are they just some popular influencer that likes to watch movies and has a big following? So I think how do you take criticism to your work?
I just think you should really be careful about who you listen to. I think when I was younger, I listened to almost too much. And there's not a lot of people waiting to help me out.
Right.
There's not.
Yeah.
I have to go find them and pitch them and create the relationships and build them and those people. But like, there's not a lot of people in the industry. And that's why I moved here too. I was like, I need to get out of LA. There's not a lot of people trying to help you out with your small business or small ideas. There's not.
No.
Like one of the Duplass brothers, I think it's Mark. He's like, the cavalry's not coming. You got to do it yourself.
You got to burn the boats, and it's all you.
Yeah. Like it's so criticism I will listen to when I respect people, but there's a lot of people that will give criticism, especially like gatekeepers or people in Hollywood and distribution.
Yeah.
They'll tell you what they think you should hear, and also they're just scared to lose their job. So it's like they're just doing their job, but like I know now the value that I bring to the table. So like, okay, and like I am transparent. Like, okay, yeah, that was bad that I did that. I'll change that.
Yeah.
I'll take that in the next project, and like this was flawless execution. Now we just need to kill the post production.
Right. Okay. Did you, I think it's with age that you just learn to filter out all those voices that used to try to impress in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just, as I've gotten older, I just learned to not care about what other people have to say. I care about what clients have to say about, because they're paying me money and I want them to have a good product, aka video or photo. But everyone else, I'm like, I get on Instagram, I'm looking at other photographers, I'm getting jealous of the quality of work, and then I'm like, well, I can do that. That's fine. It's a good photo, but I'm not going to let it interpret my mood or demeanor. And it's just, I've learned to just shut other voices out and listen to the people who pay me and the people I respect in the creative industry. Mm-hmm. And if I have, if someone tells me, hey, you really did that wrong, then I'll be like, oh, okay. But if someone else says, yeah, that video sucks, I'm like, well, yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. And I'm going to go cry about it, but, I'm not going to let you know.
Also, it's like, especially genre-based film, like comedy is so subjective. So if it's not for you, I don't really care. You're just wrong.
Right. What did you do before you became a filmmaker, actor, director, producer, writer? What earned you the tens of dollars to support your life?
So, like, what are the jobs I had along the way?
We can start from the get-go, like from the beginning. What was the first job you ever had? Mine was a dishwasher, and it sucked.
I was a caddy because I could work like
what?
I was like 13 or 14, and I could get a job as a caddy, and I wanted money.
And you knew? Did you know a little bit about golf? And
I didn't know shit. I just carried bags.
Well, I have a golf tournament on Saturday. You want to?
I'm retired.
Oh, all right. So you're a caddy. Did that pay well in tips?
Sometimes $20.
So you're
sometimes $80.
How many rounds did you do? Like during at least
I used to do 2 rounds.
2 rounds, okay.
On the weekend.
That's about what, 8 hours, 7 hours.
And then Monday I could golf for free.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's why I did it.
Yeah.
I was a better golfer at 15 than I am now.
Oh. Well, that makes sense. You probably played more.
Yeah, I played a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
After that, what'd you do?
It was like in the beginning, I was collecting carts at an Acme superstore. So it's just like H-E-B here, but it was one of the first jobs I could get.
Was Wile E. the Coyote there?
I don't get that reference.
Acme? It was like it was on the bombs that they always.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it was. I'll double check that. But yeah, anyways, sorry. Bad
Okay.
joke.
Either way.
Either the comedy of the professional.
I was like, that's cool. I just don't get that. Acme, I worked at a pet store for a while.
That's got to be sad too, right? 'Cause I'm sure there's a lot of death in the pets.
Yeah, and also you have to like feed
And clean up
mice and rats to snakes.
Oh,
You
that's
have
gnarly.
to. Also, there's like fighter fish that I had.
Oh, yeah.
I got like African cichlids and Oscars, and I had an alligator gar, a tinfoil barb.
How old were you when you were doing that job?
Too old. No, I was like
2 years ago.
16, 17. And then, I just started, I like quit soccer to play football for school. And then I quit football to be like a lead in the play.
Okay.
It's like basically going to the coach's office, like, I'm gay.
It's the only way to explain this.
That's what he felt. Like, it would have been easier to say I'm gay rather than like I'm quitting to be in the musical.
Yeah.
But it's Sky Masterson. He's like, what? I was like, okay.
Did they? This is in Pennsylvania too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, did they paddle you if you were out of line?
No. Does that happen?
We got paddled, and I don't know if they still do it, but we got paddled here in Texas.
Who
the
paddled?
coach? He lined us all up.
Where
in
did
the
he get this
room.
paddle?
The woodworking teacher.
Oh, he taught industrial arts as well.
It's kind of weird. Like, I think I missed.
That is weird.
I missed. I got caught holding hands with my girlfriend in the foyer at lunch, and the volleyball coach was like, "All right, you're in detention." And detention was at like 6:30 in the morning, but we had film review at 6:30 in the morning. So I'm like, but I'm gonna miss film review. And she goes, too bad. I'm like, fuck. All right. So yeah, and then that athletic period, coach asked me why I missed it. He's like, well, I got detention. Or I said, I got detention. He goes, all right, hands up against the locker. I'm gonna paddle you. I'm like, and it hurt. It was bad. Like,
oh my God.
It left a mark on my ass. I didn't tell my parents because I was more afraid that they were upset that
was this bare skin?
No, it was athletic shorts. So like,
over the pants.
Yeah,
so it's not that
bad. Athletic shorts with the spandex that we were wearing for our football shorts.
Copy.
It was much like this. There was no cushion.
Wow.
And yeah, so we got paddled.
That's interesting. What year was this?
This was 2005.
It's too late to paddle kids, I think.
Is it? I don't know. I think some of these kids could get paddled. Set them right.
Well, their parents should have done it before they got to school.
That's true. Very true.
But they don't anymore.
But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you you told the football coach that you're going to go be an actor.
Yeah, and then I started booking, just acting jobs here and there. I was acting since I was 8.
Wow.
I was doing Robin Williams impressions and Jim Carrey impressions and getting kicked out of class.
I could totally see that.
But the teachers would love me, and there would be other kids that would try it, and they would get sent to the principals. So they would just send me out of class to like get a breather for a while, come up with more material, and go back in and just crush it.
Get a loud pop when you come back in the class.
Yeah. But I just kept acting at that point. And
where'd you go to college?
I went to college at the Hart School of Music, University of Hartford, Connecticut. It's the capital. I wouldn't recommend going to Hartford, but West Hartford's beautiful, where the college was. You cross the bridge, you're screwed. But yeah, it was a conservatory for music, theater, and dance, and that's where
sounds so straight.
It was. There was zero competition with women. There was the people in my bachelor party and groomsmen were all like, we made like a pact, like we're the straight guys in musical theater, a BFA.
And then you made your way to L.A.
Yeah.
What year was that?
I did a musical across the country, played Lancelot in Camelot. He's Lancelot. He likes to dance a lot. And then after that, I was like, I'm going to L.A. just to audition, and I booked a movie role as a cop, foreshadowing. And yeah, I was like, oh, I'm just going to be in every movie I want. And it wasn't like that, but.
Well, I mean, it wasn't your time.
Wasn't my time yet.
There's a certain story that happened in L.A. that you told me at a bar one time. Do you want to tell it now?
Oh, man.
Are you allowed?
There's so many.
It's.
What is it?
It's the one where you got incarcerated.
Oh.
You could say.
Does this
next
part
subject.
air? Does this part air?
I thought that was a funny story.
Well,
you don't have to talk about it. It's fine. It's okay.
I got arrested on a bike. And taken downtown. I was there for 3 days, and they didn't file the paperwork. So
that is the messed up thing. Like, you just got lost.
I just got lost. My roommate was like, "Oh man, if this kid doesn't pay his rent," like he picked me up at somehow found out where I was because I couldn't call anybody from the collect phone.
Was it LA County or I'm sure it was.
It was not Mariners. It was Pacific. I was locked up at Pacific on the west side.
Yeah. Then
they took me downtown, LA County, and then they took me to Marina Del Rey where the courthouse is. And they didn't file anything.
They lost you.
And somehow my homie picked me up and I was like, "Here?" They just like let you walk out and you have to like find your way back into life and society. I was like, this is wild.
That's a crazy story, and thankfully you've never been arrested yet, right? Or again?
No, never.
Okay, good. I didn't know like if you had or not.
No, I've been that did change my life. That was 28.
Yeah,
and,
I remember.
I needed a kick in the ass.
Sure. But just being in a completely uncontrollable space with very, very interesting individuals, I'm sure.
You can say crackheads. No, I literally would give this guy. He's like, I got locked up for having a pookie, and I was like, what is a pookie? I asked him the same question, and he was like, oh, it's a crack pipe. I was like, cool. Do you want my orange juice? You probably need some citrus. Get some vitamin C in there. You're shaking. But yeah, that was saw a lot of mental illness.
Oh,
It was very sad.
Yeah.
And I was like, can't go back here, and made a lot of changes in my life, and it created a work ethic at that time, which that experience in my life is probably why I write stories, especially if I'll write stories as me as the lead. I don't have to play the lead, but I don't know anybody else that can play it that we can afford yet. So I'll play it until then.
So I'll just be the star.
Yeah.
No big deal.
I mean, we got to execute. But what was I going to say? So I think it's just so easy to write delusional, broken men that need a purpose. Probably because that was the big change in my life.
And it only took 3 days to change your life.
In LA, though.
Well, that's true.
LA Joe. Never prison, though. Never.
Never. Well, I won't use. Never mind. So when did you get to Austin?
So I had finished some admin work on 911 and American Crime Story on Fox. And it was blood money, and I was like, I have to get out of LA because I stopped writing and creating, and I was like, why is my bank account full, but I'm so sad?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of problem with people these days. It's like, yeah, we're not happy. We're chasing the money, which I'm all for, but I mean, if you're miserable, then what's the point?
Yeah, and how much of that are you saving and not just spending because you're sad?
Right.
So it's double-edged sword. Thank God we found wives who don't work in the industry.
It's the best.
It's like,
I call her my landlord because she literally is my landlord. I pay her, half the monthly, mortgage and the bills. But it's like, man, if I didn't have you, I could be on the, under one of those overpasses on 35, just hanging out.
You could be hanging out with your Pookie and Joe with me.
Right.
But yeah, seriously, like it's a big thing to.
It is, yeah.
Date a stable person when you're creative.
Right. It helps for sure. It helps. We're very lucky. So you left LA in what year?
2021 in October. So it's been a little over 3 years now.
When did we first meet? What year was that? That's got to be 2021 too.
2021.
Right? Through our good friend Christopher Sibley, that son of a bitch who left America for New Zealand.
Is he still in West Texas?
I don't know. I don't call him a West Texan anymore. I'm kidding.
I don't know how his movie went.
God, was it Party? Fuck.
No, Party People happened, but he shot another one in West Texas.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He was supposed to invite me out as a on-set photographer, but that never happened. So cool, Chris. Thanks.
We're gonna hire a local. It's way cheaper. We don't have to put him up. But seriously,
so you
probably what he did. 2021 came with Brock. I was like, let's get out of here. Let's make movies here. We raised money here for
back up on
Wild
me.
Game.
Let's talk about Brock. How did you meet? How did you guys meet?
College.
Grinder?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, college.
Grinder. See Grinder?
I did.
What is Grinder?
The people can Google it.
Okay, let the people decide. Yeah, no, I would never date a man that looks like Brock.
He's just out of your league. He's such a handsome guy.
He's bulked up as a dad, but he's like a solid wall. But yeah, he was the person with the work ethic and drive that I was like, I'll I'll go out to Austin and try it out. And
Yeah, and he's from this area, right? Or did he grow up in Oklahoma?
he has family here. His dad's from Texas, like San Antonio area,
Okay.
but no roots besides his uncle and aunt living here and his cousin.
Yeah.
But he's from Oklahoma.
Okay.
So it was a little easier for him, and I was just down to make a change and not
Sure.
accept blood money. And I just wanted to continue making movies.
Yeah.
And we have.
And so you get here. When was Dance Dad's first thought of? When did you guys start tinkering around with that idea?
I mean, it's funny you say that because it was 2018.
Oh, that's right. You were filming out in LA some
Mhm.
like little shorts, right?
Yeah, so I had the idea to go down to the beach and give everybody like something about their dance dad. We were the Marco Polos. We were polos, khakis, and don't forget the sunscreen. So I had everybody do their dance, interpretive dance and stuff. Just played a different song. They all danced a little bit differently. And then I took them to my apartment and interviewed them, and I cut it together myself. This is 2018. And the response we got from it was like, whoa. So we did a Christmas one. We added a character, Ajit /Nardeep. Ajit. No, Ajit. And then we shot a pilot in 3 days.
Impressive.
We got picked up by a production company, and we were going to do a screening and create buzz a little bit. This is March of 2020.
Oh.
March 4th. And
My sister's birthday.
everybody got sick at the place, and we couldn't have it, so I had to cancel it. And my mom was like, flew in town for this, and but
Everyone got sick, or did the world get sick?
the world got sick, but we didn't know what to call it yet, and we didn't have tests yet.
Yeah.
But that was the start of COVID, and then by March 17th, Brock and I just went up to, so like, Dance Dads, we're gonna make like official series, like yay, and then COVID screwed it.
Yeah. They said no.
So
No.
we drove up to Aspen.
And
And
the beer flows like wine up there.
It does flow like wine. The lifts weren't open, unfortunately, because it was
Aw.
COVID. But saw a lot more like bears and foxes and stuff, which is cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
A bear broke into my car, Brock's car, actually, his Jeep.
Really?
I have it on tape.
Oh my god.
It's on Instagram at Bonner Films. But yeah, I went up there, and Brock was like, "I'll pay you to write me a short film." I was like, "Take your money back. Let's write a feature together around Creed's ranch," and that's where Wild Game was
That's
written. So we
right.
wrote that.
Yeah.
We wrote that in April of 2020, and then we shot it in June of 2020. There's never been a quicker turnaround of a concept script to shooting it, and that was our first movie.
Well, when the world shuts down, what else are you gonna do? You know, you got nothing but time.
Shot it in Wyoming in June at one location, and it was the best time ever.
I bet. Yeah.
It was like summer camp, but everybody knew what they were doing. Like lead actors carrying things. We had Matt Daddario and Charlie Barnett like carrying equipment to the next shot. It was wild.
And I don't understand how Hollywood does not understand that type of workflow. Like, I feel Hollywood is very regulated, right? If you are a grip, you have to do all the stands. If you're a camera op, whatever, you're dedicated to that one job. Like, I don't understand that they don't see the efficiency and allow in tearing down those rules, essentially.
You mean keeping to one's department?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that adds a lot of just time wasted. No? Am I wrong? Am I talking out my ass?
I don't. As long as there's communication, I would say the more advanced and detailed the project gets, you need the separate departments.
Sure, okay.
But if you're keeping things simple and telling a story, I mean, I'm wearing 3 to 4 hats every day.
I guess, but with a lot of isn't there a lot of red tape when you try to make a Hollywood movie? Like there's producers,
Oh yeah.
But when you're doing it yourself, look how much more efficient it was, and
And you can
the
control
turnaround
the
time.
concept.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. More risk because you have to go in and say like this is the movie you want to put on your slate distribution.
Yeah.
So that makes it more risk but higher reward. Also, like if you're spending low amounts of movies and like I am, you don't have to make back that much before you get into profit.
You're right.
That's what's appetizing for a lot of the investors.
Okay.
It's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's just not compared to shooting a $20 million Ben Stiller movie or something like that.
So you started in June with that movie, right?
June of 2020, Wild Game.
Finished. When was it completed? When was the final version delivered? If you can pull that out of your...
I mean,
head.
2021 for sure.
Okay. So it took some time.
It took some time because nobody was working.
Yeah.
And nobody was buying movies.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, we were at an advantage. We signed with Gravitas, who gave us a bigger MG than most movies were getting because there wasn't movies to compete with.
Right.
People weren't making movies. So, yeah, that Wild Game was the first one.
Okay. Wild Game, and then how much longer after Wild Game wrapped, let's say that, did you get into pre-production for Dance Dads?
So 2021, we finished post-production. So I think we went up to Brock's parents' house, and I think we wrote the Dance Dad script in a couple days, just because I had it all in my head, and I had written like a 3-series outline or a 3-season series outline. Yeah. So it was kind of all up there, and then we crushed it all into one movie. Like, hey, look at what we do, what we do in the Shadows did, or The Office. They just kind of, or sorry, What We Do in the Shadows was a movie first, and then Taika Waititi and Jermaine executive produced the series. Yeah, which is the series is a little bit different tonal wise and different actors, of course.
It took me a minute to get into the movie itself.
The movie,
yeah. My buddy Sal showed it to me. He showed it to me twice. Well, first time, and I'm like, I don't get it. And then the second time I watched it with my girlfriend, now wife, Lauren, and I'm like, I still don't get it. And then it wasn't until about maybe 4 months ago that I watched it again. I'm like, okay, now I like it. I don't know what it was. It was just, it wasn't, maybe it's because I've been wanting something new out of what I've been watching instead of like a series. I wanted to watch something different. And I'm like, all right, I'll give it another go because everyone is saying it's so good. And yeah, I liked it. It's funny.
I mean,
it was an acquired taste for me. It took me a while to get used to it, but
different pace too.
It is, yeah.
I would like to think that the documentaries that we're making a little bit quicker paced, shot almost like The Office. But there's a lot of things happening at once, and a sport involved too. So, yeah.
Now, flash forward to filming Dance Dads. I'm still amazed of the amount of or lack of sleep that you guys went through. What kept you going?
I mean, just
snacks?
Pure, utter adrenaline.
Yeah.
Like it was wild. Like you don't get tired when you're like high on natural endorphins. I'm still coming down from pickleheads right now.
Really?
Yeah, we just shot episode 2 of Steaks Well Done with my buddy Nadav in Vegas this past weekend.
Oh, all right.
So that's not a great way to wind down, I would say.
No, that sounds like you're just ramping back up.
But it's like I just got healthy through Thanksgiving and like slept all day. Like Michelle's parents came in town. I slept the whole time they were here. I was like, I feel like I'm not being a good host. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be right. I'm not.
I was like, sorry, I just wrapped the movie.
Yeah.
And then Saturday we flew out and we, it's like in 2 days we we gamble to see how much we can make against each other. But any from YMH is in this episode, and then we got a bunch of like betting influencers to play at the craps table. But we're actually able to shoot at tables.
This is something new, and
this is new.
You haven't posted anything about it on social media, have you?
There is a
because I followed you on Pickleheads, like I followed you along that trail, but this is news to me. What is this?
So there is 2 stories, or not stories, I guess reels on my feed, but not stories.
All right.
I've posted like twice about it, but this is something I created with Nadav. Nadav has the Very Nadav Show on YouTube.
Oh.
But it's about 100,000 subscribers.
Good for him.
But he was the
Awesome.
executive producer at YMH for Tom Segura, Two Bears, One Cave.
I had no idea. I played poker with him.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that he's...
You would know his laugh from the episodes.
Okay.
His laugh is like
Which
famous.
we need to play poker again. We need to do it. I haven't seen Grant in forever.
Dude, it's been a while. We should.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
When this becomes more of a place, we could do it here if you want.
Nadav's working up a poker show as well.
Oh, okay.
So you got a table where the camera has a sensor and they know what cards they are.
Okay.
So like, it's pretty fun.
Are we playing for real money? Because I feel kind of skeptical about that.
Always.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
People play differently if it's for money. Hopefully better.
Yeah, but he has a camera system that can look at cards. And he's playing in the poker game.
It's a technology that
benefits him.
No, he can't see it.
Is he okay? Fair. I don't. Okay, so when is all of this going to be completed and released? There's
already one out.
Okay.
It's called Steaks Well Done.
Where can we watch it?
On the Very Nadav Show on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
I believe that's his Instagram handle too, but I have some on mine and he has some on his, but it's just like a fun like side gig, and we're getting sponsors.
Awesome.
So they give us $1,000 bankroll. We plug them on the episode, and I'll like wear like Dumb Love did one.
Okay.
It's my buddy's Pickleball brand.
Very cool.
Yeah, here in Austin. So
I see.
Trying to rep it, get the word out. There. We try to make as much money as we can with that bankroll.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Now, bringing it back to Dance Dads, lack of sleep. There was some restructuring of the script, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of talent. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
How did you make those quick decisions in like 3 hours of sleep?
I often find that when you're given a deadline and people holding a knife to your throat, that you have to write scenes faster. No, but that's how I think making movies is just, especially my 4th one here, it's like you start to get like you earn your masters in solutions.
Yeah.
So it's like no matter what problem comes up, it's like, okay, I mean, I can write around that. That's fine. Especially with mockumentary, it's like we had an actress that had to get on a flight at a certain time, and it was a big change. So that was. We also want to respect her career. She booked a huge movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
And like we couldn't pay her anything close to that. So I'm happy for her. But we wrote her out of it, and it was actually delightful. Like we had to change the schedule and the script. But yeah, it was. We shot during Omicron too, which was.
Oh, that second variant.
It was annoying.
It was so annoying.
Shooting January in Austin too is a little wonky.
It's better than shooting in the summertime.
I agree.
Yeah. You Philly boys can't really handle the heat, can you? If it's too hot in the kitchen,
the humidity is just like
it's brutal. I like it.
Sitting on your own sick.
I love being sweaty, swampy. It's more I'm more comfortable in that than I am shivering. I hate being cold. I've had to sit out in deer blinds.
I thought it'd be colder in here.
No, I just got installed the mini split.
I'll turn that off, dude. It's hot there.
I spend like
$2,500.
Just kidding. You had to run electrical. Well, I didn't. I paid someone to run electrical from the outside box into that because it has to be wired from the main box. It was a whole thing, and then I had an HVAC guy come in to install it just now. And then now I found out that there's no insulation in the walls, so I kind of have to figure out how to do that. But we're going to insulate the roof and the door, and yeah.
That's awesome. When did you guys buy this place?
Well, my landlord, a.k.a. my wife, she bought it 2015, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she's almost paid it off. No, I'm kidding. I've helped her too. Yeah, so we've looked. Shut up. I've looked out. I do things. Yeah, so she's very smart and very hardworking nurse, and yeah, this place is awesome. And so the whole thing, what's the word? The thing that ignites the idea.
Pilot.
Whatever. The ignition of this idea was my wife wanted to buy a $5,000 shed to put the stuff in the garage in the shed, and we don't share bank accounts. So I'm like, that's fine.
Oh, wow.
It's your money. Do whatever you want. But in my mind, I was like, why don't we just get rid of the stuff and you can save that money. But anyways, once I saw it being built, and it is actually really cool. I keep the tools in there, the lawnmowers and whatnot. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, this space is cleared out. Now, we're going to build a gym as we did. And I'm sorry, I built the gym, meaning I paid for someone to come in here. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is kind of like, I'm facilitating her dream of having a gym, but also I wanted like a little man cave / office / storage place for all of my gear. And I wanted a simple workflow to, when I come home late at night, I want to be able to, drop all my gear, get archiving, and then get to editing as soon as I get home, while also, watching TV and, just chilling out in the late hours of the evening. And so it just got me thinking, I'm like, okay, well, let me just invest in this spot. And then Pints and Professionals came back to my head. I'm like, now I have a location where I can interview interesting people doing interesting things in cool industries. And so I'm like, okay, regardless of what this state is in right now, it's going to get cooler as far as like design. But I just wanted to get going. Like, I want to do cool stuff and have cool conversations with people who are doing cool things right now. And then I remembered you're doing Pickleheads. I'm like, oh, I'm sure he'd want to, talk a little bit about it, get some exposure to my 2 viewers. Hi, Mom, Sister, Ed.
You guys like comedy?
And it's just all like, at the bare minimum, this is going to be something cool to look back on 30 years from now.
Absolutely.
And that's a cool thing about doing video is like, you can always go back to it's like a time capsule. You can go back to that moment in time and look at how young you were, how stupid you were, how handsome you were, all those things. And that's a beautiful thing about, video and why I like doing it. All that to say, I don't know where we left off, but
no, that's why
we're talking about dance stats. How the hell did we get on this tangent?
Well, even just what you said, like I was doing stand up and doing really well. Like I was touring doing that.
You're a comedian.
I headline a festival called Floyd Fest in Virginia. The same people did Bonnaroo. And it was like I was treated like a king all weekend. Had a 45-minute set the Thursday. And
Holy,
stayed till
45
Sunday.
minutes. You had 45 minutes of material.
30 good, but I had a lot of energy. But I was like running my own show, like a weekly show, headliner show in Santa Monica and a couple other spots. And I just wasn't getting what I wanted out of it. Yeah. So starting to produce digital content and sketches and then short films. It's like you learn, it's a time capsule. Yeah. And looking back at those projects now, it's like I'm able to reflect in a less painful and more real way.
That is very true. I look back at some of my other work. Now as I've grown older, I've learned to not like really indulge in those feelings of like, God, that sucks so bad. Now I look at it as like a time capsule. I'm like, oh, I just messed up on that part. I'm going to do that better. And I don't know. It's just now it's fun to go back and look at some of my videos that I thought was oh my God, this is so cool. This is going to get me so many jobs. And now I look at him like, yeah, you deserve to be unemployed because that was so bad, Ramon. But yeah, it's just, yeah, it's fun to go back in time and watch these things as I got older. But yeah, I've also been humiliated in thinking back to those times of like, I was just an idiot. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I thought I knew it all, but I didn't know shit. And now I still don't know shit, but I just don't care anymore. I don't care about...
I know more, but I still don't know shit.
Exactly, yeah. I don't care about, like, not knowing what I don't know. Because eventually I'll figure it out. And like, just like making a movie, you find those solutions. You ride around those characters. And that's what I found so fascinating about being in that industry. And thank you for that. Thank you for inviting me to be
Absolutely
the director of photography, which is just a very loaded title because I just pressed record, man. That's all I did. I do wish we could take a little more time to light things, but given the scheduling and what we needed to accomplish, I don't think that was in the books. And it's fine. It's a mockumentary. It doesn't have to look like a Roger Deakins movie. It
like you said, it still has that story in heart, and people attach to the story if they like it. But just like what you said, like I wish I could go back. I want to do Dance as a series.
I think that's very possible, dude. Now
Like,
you have an actual dad in as God, what was his name? What was Brock's character's name?
Jenkins,
Yeah, Jenkins.
sperm donor.
I mean,
I'm a technician. But I don't think that will ever die, the idea.
yeah,
But that project is exactly what it needed to be at the time it was
yeah,
for us to learn and get where we're at.
right. What did you learn from that production? What were some of the takeaways?
Don't sacrifice story for anything.
That makes me feel so good that you said that. That's been the whole premise of Resolute Media is just let's tell better stories. Your audience deserves it. Whoever your audience is, tell them a good story and be authentic about it. Don't lie to them.
It's like everybody's like, we need this amount of money to do this movie or this idea or this. I'm like, you don't. You need to make it for what you have, or you don't make it at all, and get more creative. It was, it was a lot in post, and like, remember that post shoot that we did, the dance? I was just literally rolling around on concrete, and you and Brock were like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I think I'm dying."
I've been drinking nonstop since we ended production, and now I'm like out of
really
shape.
Sad. I just broke up with my girlfriend.
Oh, did you? That's right. I remember. Okay. Yeah. Wow, how time flies.
Yeah.
And now you have a wife.
Yeah, but not drinking and playing pickleball, and then gave me the confidence to go back out there and meet Michelle. So
how'd you meet your wife?
Grinder.
Good old Grinder.
But literally Hinge.
Hinge, okay. That's not that. I mean, my best friend Sal, he met his wife on.
It was Bumble.
It was.
I was on every app. I forget.
Bumble is. I see. I was on Tinder, Grinder, and then Hinge came out, and I'm like, oh, that sucks too. But I thought Bumble. No, not Bumble. Yeah, Bumble's the one where the girl likes the guy first, right?
Uh-huh.
I thought that would have been great. That would have saved me so much time. Like,
yeah, if you're a cuck.
Yeah, but I just remember sitting on the toilet, just swiping right on Tinder, and I'm like, oh, my legs are already falling asleep. If I could just have, if they swipe on me, great. We'll engage in conversation. I don't have to waste my time on the throne swiping.
There's an app for everybody.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm more into the IRL app, in real life.
Same.
And that's how I met my wife.
That's impressive.
I know.
Especially for somebody that wants a guy to choose first. Did your friend ask her out for you?
No. She was. It was funny because we were when you work out at the gym, you're not in your best attire. You are in your gym clothes, as you should be, right?
Yeah.
And I remember her wearing a Deftones shirts, and we met at the Fountain. I'm like, oh, you like Deftones? Yeah, one of my favorite albums is Minerva. She goes, oh, yeah, I love Deftones. I think her favorite album is Pony. I should know that. But so flash forward to like the Christmas party that the CrossFit gyms typically throw, and we were at a bar, and I see this beautiful girl there, and she has like this streak in her hair, and it turns out to be her birthmark. And I go, hey, and she was hanging out with like other gym people that I know. I go up to this beautiful girl. I go, hey, I'm Ramon. What's your name? And she goes, I'm Lauren. I know you. I work out at the gym. I'm like, oh shit. I am so sorry. You just look completely different. Because she was dressed up. She had makeup on, and then, 3 months later we were dating. So obviously,
damn,
that was a weird.
It's funny that you were kind of attracted to her as working out, and also you thought it was a different girl, and you're also attracted to her.
Like, oh yeah. That was not that. I'm glad it worked out. Let's just say that.
Might as well like walked up and like, are you into LARPing?
And then I asked, so do you own a home? And she goes, yes, I do. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna marry you.
Cool.
And then I married.
Can we
into
ever
this
merge?
home.
We can't merge bank accounts.
No. All right.
That worked out, man.
It did, yeah. I'm glad you found I'm glad you found yours.
Yeah, she's
the
shit.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. How long have you lived with a woman before? Like, what's the extent? Have you ever?
How long
lived
have I
with a
lived
woman?
with her?
Yeah. How have you ever lived with a woman before?
I've had female roommates. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna name names, but there is one of my only roommate. The hair in the shower, drives me up the wall.
That's a thing.
Like, it's there. It's a big ball monster. You don't see that? I see that. I don't want to pick it out because it's not my hair. My hair's short.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's yours. Do something about it, and nothing ever gets done. It's one of the. It's my pet peeve. Thankfully, she'll never watch this and never hear that.
I'm sure there's 10 things that
I do.
She thinks about.
Oh,
100%.
Yeah, but she doesn't have a podcast, and I do, so I'm going to air my frustration.
You have a voice. You should use it.
It is Festivus, so we got the poll in the back, and it's going to happen. I'm going to air my frustrations.
I love that.
And then she'll probably make me sleep out on this couch that I just bought for $2,500, and I'm excited about it, but it's not going to be here until 6 weeks, so I'll have to have that argument after, in the new year.
6 weeks?
Yeah.
How much was shipping? Another $2,500?
Shipping, I think it was free, but it's probably wrapped up in the cost. Having a good couch is nice, right?
Having a good couch?
A good couch, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like my couch. We went to Living Spaces and just they do, I think, free delivery, but it's soft. We already have grown out of our place, and it's a 3-bedroom, and we both work from home.
Oh, okay. So
she does events, and she has a lot of things, and
yeah. Garage is
It's,
probably full with a bunch of stuff as
we
well.
don't have a garage, but we have a shed.
Okay, shed. $5,000 shed.
It was their shed. We rent shed.
It was a stabbing cabin.
Yeah. It has a window.
I think that's a good thing about my situation. She actually has a job that she goes to for 12 hours a day, and I get this humble abode to myself. But yeah, it's nice having her go away for 12 hours and then coming back, because we get a nice break. But living together, also working together in the same house, I'm sure can get, I understand the plight there.
It was a difficult transition for her mostly.
Yeah.
I was like, I can live with anything.
You can nest anywhere.
I'll find my way around. Like I'm just a survivor, but I've learned to like things that cost too much money and try to be able to afford them and work to get those, because she's like, you need this. I'm like, okay, you're right about a lot of things, but if you'll just if you'll stop talking about it, I'll
Well,
buy it.
that's another problem that I have is like she'll suggest something like Metamucil. Apparently, it keeps you regular, right? I'm like, I don't need that. My other buddy Sam, who's on my T-shirt here.
Sorry, what is Metamucil though? Keeps you regular.
It keeps you regular for pooping.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't know? Are you not familiar?
No. No, I don't actually know.
Okay.
It.
Well, it's fiber. It's basically just like a spoonful of fiber.
I think I need it actually.
It helps.
I don't poop during shoots, so I waited 12 days.
You're really backed up, huh?
Sorry.
Well, you can when you're sleeping 3 hours a day. When do you have time to poop? But no, she suggested like you should do Metamucil because it'll keep you regular. Blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't want to do that. And then my buddy Sam, who's on my T-shirt here, having a good time in Colombia, he was like, dude, I've been using Metamucil and it's life changing. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll give it a shot. And I started using it, and he was right. And then I told Lauren that I'm gonna start using it, and she goes, I fucking told you that like 4 months ago. Why are you starting to do it now? I'm like, well, because my buddy Sam said it's good, and
I think I just needed some vocal variety.
And that's like, I don't listen to her right off the bat. I need other sources to confirm what she said, and then somehow my brain like engages, and then eventually I just say, yeah, you're right. I have no pride in letting my wife know that she's right, because she's right, like 99% of the time.
I met her, and like you can't be right ever,
I know. It's pretty bad. But that 1% when I'm right, oh my God, I don't let her live it down for
put this up
months.
On the fridge. Yeah.
And I paid a lot of money for the walls, and she put a dent in it with the barbell over there. And I haven't made fun of her for that. I did tell her I was going to put a Sharpie mark. I'm like, on this day, Lauren, put a mark on the wall.
So you guys are still a CrossFit couple, or
no? We're more like a gym at home couple, if that's a thing. But CrossFit couples are.
That's all you need, right there.
Yeah, no,
that's great.
Actually, that's actually all you need, because CrossFit was fun. It kept me fit. It was fun to be a part of. Like,
created a community. You met the woman of your dreams.
That's all I needed, and then I found it. But the thing with CrossFit is like every gym that I went to kept closing down. And I'm like, I don't want to find a new gym every 2 years, so I don't want to go devote my money to a gym that may close down within, I don't know, 6 months, a year, whatever. Like,
I belong to Lifetime and pay out my ass to.
Lifetime's expensive. I remember back in the day when it was like $80.
Yeah, it's like $180.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Inflation.
And really,
thanks, Obama.
Play pickleball, lift weights twice a week, and use the sauna.
And that's all you need. I mean, you're looking good. You're looking trim.
If I didn't drink beer this whole weekend, I'm allergic to beer. Although, by the way, I just did it for Pints and Professionals.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Shut up.
This is buckwheat beer, right?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. It's not. It's gluten-free beer. No, it's like I love it.
Yeah.
But I can't process it anymore or something like that.
Well,
I need Metamucil.
Next time I'll cater to my guests' nutrition habits.
Let's do some kind of like whiskey or something like that.
Oh,
whiskey sipper.
Oh my God, I want you to. All right, well, whiskey's dangerous. I love it, but man, it's.
Come on, you get a new sheet for the chair. We'll get, I'll bring my own.
This chair's 37 years old, and I know that because this is my in-laws chair, along with the couches in the living room that I'm not bitter about that we haven't gotten rid of. But okay, so this whole garage thing is one big scheme to get new couches in the garage. I'm spending a fortune in this garage just to get a new damn couch in our living room. Because
you're getting a new couch for the living room so you can have these old couches.
Well, no, that's not the. I bought a brand new couch because I want to sit my ass down in a comfortable couch.
In here.
When she gets mad at me and I have to sleep out in the doghouse, this is going to be my humble doghouse. I'm going to have everything.
You know what? I don't even need her. There's a dartboard out here.
I mean, we could get divorced. I'll pay rent here. It don't matter. Well, sometimes.
I look forward to my actual man cave. I have the guest room is my office, and I have my movie posters up, and it's like fun. But when somebody's there, I'm like, get the fuck out of my office. It's like, we're your parents. I'm like, shut up. Shut up.
As I get older, I get the allure of having your own space. Like when I was growing up, I was like, I'll just hang out in the living room, hang out in the kitchen. There's plenty of room.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, yeah, I need to get away from everything, from everyone for
Absolutely.
a brief moment in time.
Yeah.
Like I'll enjoy I don't consider this to be like the place that I will watch TV. It'll be a place to, take a break from editing. I like watching TV in the living room, but I don't know. It's nice to be away, separate from the house.
Absolutely.
This is nothing. And I'm happy with it. I'm already, yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, it is.
Like I rent, so like this is ideal.
Well, I kind of rent too. Although the mortgage is in my name as well, so there's that.
Oh,
yeah. We
so
refied.
you're still stuck with the bill.
Yeah, I know. Well,
do you guys have wills written?
no, that's the thing.
Life insurance?
I have a woman for that if you want. But no, we do need to get a will together because that's the thing you do when you get older.
Well, life insurance.
Life insurance, it's through her. So if she kicks a bucket, I get $600K. If I die, she'll, I don't know.
Get it. R5.
Yeah. She'll go marry a doctor like she should have. But, yeah. All right. Well, dude, I got nothing else. I asked all the questions I wanted to ask. And thank you for doing this.
Absolutely, man.
Sorry
Thanks
that you're
for having
allergic
me.
to beer.
Huh?
Sorry that you're allergic to beer.
I'm not because
I know you're
I can
not.
still enjoy it. I'm not allergic. It's just like I have trouble processing.
Sure.
It. But yeah, man. Cheers.
I don't
Gonna be
think
sick later.
they don't do whiskey and pints, so I would have to change the name of the entire show for you, and I don't think I want to do that.
What starts with a P? Peerless whiskey. So there's this whiskey called Peerless.
Okay. Is it good?
It's really good.
Okay.
It's kind of expensive though.
What are we talking? I got a credit card.
It's like
I got a business credit card.
It's like 109.
Oh, I have one more question to ask, and it's kind of important. When did you know that you could sustain a living being a creative, being a writer, producer, whatever? When did you know that could be a possibility? Like I could pay my bills doing this.
I still don't.
So you still suffer from anxiety of like, oh my God, when's the next check coming in? When's the next job? Blah, 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 blah.
I legitimately, it's just nothing. I wish I could just make my movies. I also do the other side gigs, like making the golf series with you, like, and producing commercial work. But it's not stuff I like to do. I think.
Okay, I guess I should reframe this question. When did you realize you could avoid the 9-to-5 job and do this, like be creative?
I think when I started getting paid to do stand-up, I was like, I don't have to have a normal life. Like my parents wanted me to have a normal life so much.
Yeah.
And
as every parent's do.
Just to be healthy, like, because I would treat the way I treated myself when I did stand-up is not great. To go further into dangerous environments just for the story of it, to live an experience, and just like, you want to experience everything so you can talk about it, because you can only joke about what you know. So I'll never look back and say, I wish I didn't do that. I'm so glad I did. But through that experience and getting paid and like writing, then I sold this mini series to Sci-Fi 60. Sci-Fi 60 was a series, but Gunpowder and Sky, who did Dust. And it was just an idea that I had. I pitched them, and they're like, yes. And I was like, you sure? And they gave me the budget to produce it, and I basically just wrote, directed, and produced it, and did that. And I was like, all right, I think I can just keep doing this. But, just imposter syndrome, and then you think you're never going to do it again, and then an opportunity comes your way. But creating opportunities is 80% of the job.
That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
My mom might know a contact back in California that could get. I don't know. That's not
Seriously.
I don't know where I'm going with that, but
Or your
yeah,
sister.
that's the thing with this business is like I literally take every job that comes my way, regardless of how tired I am, because one, I'm fearful of like never working again. I have to overcome that at some point. I know that, but it's just like every job that I do, I feel like I'm just advancing my career further and further to being that old guy at the concert with the camera, shooting video, shooting photo, whatever. But that guy's happy. He's living his good life. And like I had this perception like, I don't want to be that guy. But now if I'm just happy doing that, filming concerts, then yeah, great. You know, if I could pay my bills and do it through that avenue, then why not be the old guy?
I was at a meeting today. I signed a co-producer that helped me out with equipment. He's a good friend of mine, but does commercials out here. And he mentioned something today at lunch. He was like, yeah, half of these jobs are not a lot of money, but they build relationships in like this $1,200 gig that I just produced in Miami.
Sick.
That's all I got. But they just signed up for a $125,000 commercial. So it's like, and then we were talking about how equipment houses run out here, and you were talking. I remember you saying, no matter what gigs I'm getting, like I need more equipment, or you're upgrading your equipment. So like, as long as there's growth, either mentally, emotionally, or physically, having the equipment to shoot, something in your garage studio, and getting a new when you're ready. But seriously, as long as there's growth, like you're going to be motivated to continue making that check in a livable wage.
Yeah. And also, like, if you're having fun doing it, like, that's cool too,
work.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like work. Like, I have to do some more editing tonight, but I don't care. I'm not answering to anybody other than my clients, and they're cool as shit. So.
And the more work you do tonight, then you have something more in the morning to polish and send out.
That's true. Yeah. I do have my BNI networking group tomorrow morning at 7. Do you want to go to that for me?
I don't.
Oh, fuck. All right.
I'm playing pickleball.
All right, dude. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. You're the first person in this garage control.
Wow.
Yeah. Garage control is...
what a pleasure. When do you put the plastic wrap out? What are these golf clubs you're going to hit me with?
You've been a caddy. Why don't you clean them up for me, bud?
I did. I just carried the bag.
Oh. But you also got to clean the clubs, too. Anyways. All right. Let's get going. It's like an hour and 15. Not bad.
I got to pee.
Cool. Me too. All right. Let's go pee.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah.